Great. Okay, so my name is Steve Andrews. I'm the chairman of the Sacramento County Developmental Disability Advisory Committee. And we're fortunate today to have one of our guest speakers, which is Lisa Cooley. And Maureen Fitzgerald kind of did a biography about you. You're a pretty famous person, Lisa.
It's nice to be with all of you. My name is Lisa Cooley. I'm a Sacramento County resident. I was a member of the California State Council on Developmental Disabilities for 6 years.
Great. Well, we're really fortunate to have you here, Lisa. Let me do introductions for everyone.
Okay.
Teresa, thank you very much for joining us today. We did get, I guess, an interpreter for you, ASL interpreter for you.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. And that's Michelle. So I hope that helps you out. Would the rest of the DD Council members like to introduce themselves?
I'm Maureen Fitzgerald, and welcome to Teresa and Lisa, and the interpreter, Michelle.
I'm Patty Fischeko.
Thank you, Patty.
You're welcome.
I'm Michael Hilton.
Natalie Gray.
Patty Uplinger from Housing Now and a professional member of the council.
And former chairman of the council too. And Patty, thank you very much. This is once again, you've come up with some real good guest speakers to provide us for this DD Council meeting. So thank you very much for that. Okay, Teresa, any questions you might have in regards to what we're doing here?
No, actually not right now, Steve. I'm here just mainly for observation, and my family is new to Sacramento County. We just moved from South Dakota last summer. So yes, I decided to be in a completely different state. They are very different, I know. So I basically want to learn more about the various different organizations within the area. And so today it's more of wanting to participate, to just be an observer and just curious and wanting to meet new people and have new connections.
Great, thank you very, very much.
Steve, are you going to give a little history on the council for them, for Lisa?
Go right ahead. You know, you want to? I will if you don't.
Yeah, go ahead. Because you've been around it more than me, but you know.
Yeah, the Sac County DD Council was actually formulated by parents, and the parents who formulated it were actually some of the parents who wrote the Latterman Act here in the state of California. So part of what we like to turn around and do is to have individuals who are parents who are part of our council. So we do turn around and try to get individuals throughout the area who do provide services to the developmentally disabled population. Sonia is the executive director of the state council, and we do have individuals from Alta.
Can I just correct that? I'm the manager of the regional office. Aaron wouldn't be happy with me taking his job, but thank you.
Okay. Well, anyway, Sonia is a very important person, Teresa, all right? You don't want to maintain communications with her at all costs, believe me. Okay. Is that a decent overview of who we are and what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the history of the DD Council is, this council is one of the council that actually started the whole thing of getting fingerprinted back in the, late 60s, early 70s, that throughout the state of California, after we advocated to get legislation, laws that everyone would get fingerprinted who works in a care home. And we also turned around and came up with the Take Me Home Safely website, which if you have an individual, a son or daughter who's out there in the community, if you register them with the Take Me Home Safely website, the police, the fire department would know exactly who the person is and definitely get them back home. So that's kind of what we've done, I think, in the past historically. But we've done many other things, yes.
Steve, is there any update on that? Like, is there a review of that system? Do we know, is it being used or?
You know, it's interesting you asked that, Patty, because when we formulated the Take Me Home Safely website, it was supposed to be part of every IPP that all the service coordinators would turn around and ask, do you want to have your son or daughter, or does the individual want to be part of the Take Me Home Safely website? And it really hasn't happened throughout the years. And I think it's been about 15 years, am I correct, Maureen, since we've implemented that?
That many?
I don't think it's been that many.
I think it's been less. It was when Justin was chair.
All right, so what, 10?
Yeah,
Okay.
8, 10.
You know, Patty, that's something that we can turn around and follow up on and talk to Alta Regional about.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Lisa, front and center, you got the floor.
Steve, you said you had a history or something, or not history, but.
Of
and
Lisa?
Maureen, yeah.
Oh,
I've known
yeah,
Lisa a
Maureen,
long time. She's a tremendous advocate. I don't know. I think our paths crossed maybe before 2006. And around when I started Housing Now or before, but
Probably.
yeah. So anyway, I didn't know if there was anything else that you wanted to say as an introduction, or just let Lisa go for it.
No, it's very good. As I said, Maureen came up with a kind of a biography.
I
on
found it
Lisa.
at-
I didn't realize
I
how
think
famous she is.
The UCP website,
No.
that was a listing of all the many involvements and things Lisa has been doing. We can resend that link, but we'll resend that link. It was listing, she's just done a whole lot.
Okay, Lisa, so would you like to discuss certain things you're involved in?
Yes, I would. I am currently involved in a lot of housing
You froze up, Lisa.
Bay Area called the Kelsey.
Lisa, you're breaking up, and we missed what you said before you said the Kelsey. That's all we heard.
I'll repeat that.
Okay.
I'm
That's
currently
important.
involved in a lot of disability housing advocacy with an organization called the Kelsey for people who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. The Kelsey is a housing organization that supports and encourages inclusive housing and communities for people who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. It was started by a woman named Michaela Connery, whose cousin Kelsey had developmental disabilities. She wanted her cousin to be more included in the community and have a chance at community living. And her cousin got involved in disability housing and is equal as it should be. And I started my housing advocacy after I graduated from a program called Raise the Roof, which is a program that teaches people, adults who have developmental and intellectual disabilities, about housing advocacy and how we can advocate for more inclusive and affordable and accessible housing throughout California.
Very nice.
That is just one of the many activities that I do.
Lisa, I do have a question. This is Steve Andrews. As I said, Maureen pulled a whole bunch of information about you from the UCP website. Are you an independent contractor with them?
I'm an independent contractor with Disability Rights California in Sacramento.
Gotcha.
I participate on many of their hiring teams. I have also put together or helped put together their priorities as far as legislation
Very good.
and things should work on as an organization.
Patty, you should send her a application to be part of our DD
Or as
Council.
agent,
Lisa, I don't know. Every once in a while you're freezing up. I'm not sure what is happening. Are you on your cell phone?
yes.
It's like sometimes when I don't know if there's anything you can do about it, but just understand every once in a while you miss something you're saying because it freezes. That's
Yeah.
right there. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I have also been a part of our regional centers board of directors. I am currently the chair of our self-determination advisory committee.
Are you currently on the board at ELTA?
No,
Okay, but you're on
I
a,
was when I first started with our regional center back in the early 2000s.
okay. And what about tell us about that self-determination group? Who's that with?
With our regional center.
Oh, okay. So they have subcommittees and other members of the community can be on those committees. But
Yes.
you have to be on the board. Okay.
And I'm a part of the state council's statewide self-advocacy network.
It's very impressive, Lisa.
Which is a group of cells from throughout the state.
Do you want to tell us some of the work that you do within those different organizations, or committees?
We work on different issues that affect people with intellectual and developmental disabilities throughout the state of California. We recently had a training on conflict resolution that was really good. And very briefly, human trafficking. And on mental disabilities.
What was that last thing you said?
Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month.
In your work, have you encountered, well, I know Sonia has done this, is the training for the police departments or sheriff departments or anything as far as awareness is IDD awareness?
I've done one training with our local police department on disabilities with other parents and self advocates.
How was it received?
They listened and asked a lot of questions, and I got the sense that they learned a lot about how to work with people that have developmental and intellectual disabilities in different situations.
Lisa, I have a
And I
question for you.
felt very comfortable doing it, considering it was the first time I've done that kind of training. Go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, Lisa, this is Steve Andrews. Have you been down to the Stockton Police Department to train them?
No, I've never been to the Stockton Police Department for their training.
Okay.
Sonia, does your cohort in the Stockton area do the same? Because you've done that kind of training, right?
Yeah, we do a lot of trainings. The Stockton area would be covered by Dina Hernandez. There are trainings that we're involved with in that area. Sometimes we do specifically to a department, and other times it's a training put on by a third-party entity that departments can refer people to. I don't know specifically about a training specifically to Stockton Police Department, but I know we do trainings in that area.
Thank you.
But that would be under Dina. Steve, if you have questions about that.
Thank
I am also a part of the Mind Institute, and that's for medical investigation of neurodevelopmental disorders community advisory committee. I have done, through that organization, I've done trainings with, I've been partnered with 3rd and 4th year medical students to help them get a deeper perspective of what developmental disabilities are beyond their clinical training.
Wow.
By sharing this of my life with them.
Just maybe for Teresa, I don't know. I was going to say, Lisa, excuse me, for Teresa's benefit, the Mind Institute is connected. It's connected with UC Davis, isn't it? Or near UC Davis?
Yes.
And that was started by parents. Chuck.
With the UC Davis health system, it was started by
3 dads of sons with autism.
Autism parents. Who wanted to find a cause and hopefully a cure someday for their children's autism and neurodevelopmental disorders.
Yeah. And I used to get mail, well, I don't know, maybe because of COVID, I used to get mailings from them, and it would have these trainings that they do throughout the year that people can attend. I haven't seen it in a long time. It's just for Teresa's benefit to let her know that that exists out there, and it may be something to look into.
And they have a series called Meeting of the Mind.
Right.
Excellent. Good.
And you can go to their website and look up previous presentations, and they have tip videos. They have a video on topics like supported decision making that I was also a part of almost 5 years ago.
Lisa, is there anything? Lisa,
Go ahead.
is there anything that we as a council can help you with?
Regarding,
Regarding anything?
Advocacy, you know, if you need support, oftentimes our council, like we heard Chris McCann a month or so ago, or yeah, our last meeting, and a parent and advocate, and she was talking about the aging population and early intervention and specific
mhm.
Down syndrome and how to start before because of the dementia, the eventual dementia. And so we wrote some sort, did we write a letter, Maureen, or we were going
I don't have it done yet.
what was it? What's the topic of our letter?
It will be a letter to the Board of Supervisors discussing what she told us, that there's an increased need for specific housing and programs to support more people who are going to develop Alzheimer's and dementia who are in the regional center system.
So we've done other letters of support. So the things that we can do is we're appointed to this council from our county board of supervisors. And so
Mhm.
when there's an issue countywide, then we can, as a council, we'll write a letter to the county board of supervisors. We also will, if there's a concern of ours, we'll address it to the regional center and copy the board of supervisors on it. So if there's some, and this is just Sacramento, if some countywide issue or something come across where you might need some more advocacy, we have people, I mean, we can write a letter about that in support of whatever you're at. So,
Lisa, one of
Speaking
the,
for myself, personally, I would like to see an increase in employment, transportation options for people who have developmental disabilities, who disability.
Yes, very good point. Sonia, did you email out that document that you sent me yesterday to support minimum wage for individuals with disabilities?
That was only shared with a list of community-based providers and organizations that I had.
Okay. We could probably turn around and send that out to our DD council members also.
You're welcome to do that, absolutely.
Okay.
I did put the link to the presentation from last time on dementia-friendly homes and issues of aging. That's on YouTube. Sorry, my comment is a little bit odd there, but it has been viewed 29 times since we posted it, so that's great.
wow.
Thank you.
Hey, Lisa, maybe you could just tell us what you know from your friends and acquaintances out there. One of the things our council wrote the regional center about was that we urged Alta Regional Center to try to document how many families and individuals didn't have access to the internet and or the laptop to be able to communicate with Alta and their doctors and everything. What do you know of your friends? And they said they were looking at it, but they didn't really have any hard data, and they were trying to get some extra money from the state to buy some. I think they ended up buying 30 Chromebooks. Do you have trouble? We're seeing some hiccups in your transmission on the phone. Do you have trouble with your internet connection?
And sometimes it depends on our router. But I think I'm holding the phone at awkward angles.
Ah, mostly does your internet work where you live and with your phone?
But I think people that I know beyond Sacramento and beyond our area sometimes have inconsistencies with their internet.
Like the rural areas?
Like the rural areas beyond Sacramento and Roseville.
Yeah. The regional center covers 10 counties, so.
Lisa, may I ask, where are you right now? Are you in Sacramento?
I'm in Rancho Cordova,
Okay.
where I live.
Okay. All right. Anyone have any questions for Lisa?
I want to say that Lisa is just so generous with her her image. So she's on our brochure, our new one that we're redesigning right now. You can't see it right now, but anyway, she's on there. She's also got her first vaccine last week, and she's let me take pictures.
Yes.
So I'm going to be putting those on Facebook today to inspire other people. And she's always generous with her time and her image. She's very famous now all around the state. So I thank her for being a leader and an inspiration to other people, and always speaking up and showing up when she's asked.
I do my best.
Lisa, I don't think I have your internet address. But believe me, I'll send you a link and you can participate in any of our DD councils each month if you'd like.
I'll send you her email.
Yeah, that'd be
I
great.
have
I'm putting it in the chat.
Oh, cool.
Oh, excellent.
Lisa, what do you think is the biggest challenge, the hardest thing individuals such as yourself are facing today? Is it work? Is it the cost of housing? I mean, it can be more than one thing, but what's the biggest challenge you're facing?
I would say, speaking for myself again, employment.
Okay. Are there not jobs out there, or are employers not wanting to make accommodations, or is it transportation, or kind of all those things?
A combination of all those things, but especially for me, transportation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. I do have your email address now. And every month I'll
And
turn around and
if I
send you a invitation if you'd like to turn around and be part of what we're doing.
if I can fully answer the question,
No, you're good.
transportation, because paratransit does not go to the part of Rancho Cordova that I live in. If you're familiar with Rancho Cordova,
Yes, I am.
Lisa, have you gone to a paratransit board meeting?
I have not recently, but I have spoken to someone at the city of Rancho Cordova discussing my paratransit issue.
Isn't there I don't know what the short bus that it's like an on-call bus with SAC Regional Transit?
It's a commuter bus. And the commuter bus only goes around Rancho Cordova.
Interesting, because I know they have, it's like a door-to-door pickup that that SAC Regional Transit has. They started as a pilot in like Citrus Heights area or something in the beginning, And then well, maybe they only expanded it to certain areas. I don't know.
And they have neighborhood ride that goes to certain neighborhoods, and if you make a make a route change, they charge you so much money for route deviations.
Okay.
Yes, Patty? Okay. No, we're still here.
Real quickly, Michelle and Jordan, in the chat line, can you turn around and document what organization you're from? So I can put that in the minutes of our meeting?
I think Jordan will do that. Thank you.
Okay.
We asked Teresa, do you have any questions for us?
You know what? I'm not sure that I am. I'm just trying to take in all the information, and I just wanted to introduce you a little bit more. My family, I have a 23-year-old with CP, and he's deaf as well. And I have another health issue. So our family moved, and it's been really hard trying to figure out who to connect with for services. But we're finding that we're starting to kind of get some ground with connecting to people, and Social Security, for example, was resolved, and then connected to Alta Regional Center. So making headway. Right now, it's more of a learning curve of what people do and what organizations are in the county and where to go, and other things that we may be involved with to learn more. So that's why I'm here as well. So I'm really here to learn in Sacramento County what all is available.
Please reach back with an email. We may not know the answer, but we often know where to suggest someone go to get what they're looking for. So please feel free to consider us a resource in any other meetings you wish to observe, attend, participate, and or get on the council, whatever you wish.
Teresa, you mentioned you have a 24-year-old son, right? Did I get that
23, 23, almost.
Okay. I'm aging him. But have you heard of STEP? The
Okay.
STEP agency? STEP?
Yes. So I've already asked for a referral from Alta Regional to STEP. So that is in progress. And then I also work for NorCal,
Okay.
Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. And so NorCal has a day program as well.
Oh.
And really, it's hard because we moved during COVID. Doesn't make life simple. Everything is not normal right now.
No.
Yeah, so to see and understand what is the norm when we're not in a normal state is really challenging. So COVID has really affected the timing of making connections to programs and really making things happen. I just didn't expect it to be such a big impact.
Thank you for sharing that.
And in South Dakota, I was involved personally. I was involved with our Community Disabilities Advisory Committee. I was also involved with the Mayor's Committee or Commission on Disabilities. Let's see, I was also involved in a LEND program. I also partnered in policy making trainings, for example, and just various things that I was very heavily involved in my last community.
Wow. Nice. I have another question for Lisa when we're done here.
Go right ahead.
Lisa, are there any, and I have to admit, I'm not up on legislation. I'm a part of Lanterman Housing Alliance Legislative Committee. Are there any particular bills that you're following at the legislative level, state level?
They are asking for support for Assembly Bill 621. If you want to know the details of that bill, go look it up on LegInfo. I do not have details regarding the bill in front of me. At the moment.
And Teresa, you put up SB 692?
We can't hear you, Michelle.
Oops, sorry. Yes, I was. But then, Lisa, real quick, what was the bill number that you just referenced?
Senate Bill 621.
Assembly, I think you said, right? Or is it Senate bill?
Senate Bill 621.
Okay, great. And Teresa says, yes, I was adding the SB 292. That one suggested the bias SELPA. It's actually in regards to what they want as a goal is around 53% of students with disabilities to be inclusive, to have inclusion or to be included. 80% of their school day have inclusion. And I'm not quite sure if that's appropriate or not, because again, I think that violates the FAPE.
Later.
And I'm really not sure specifically the students with disabilities that are on IEPs getting services currently. It's individual. And so I'm not quite sure, but that's the current bill that I'm tracking now. The deaf community here is against it because as a deaf student, they need to socialize with deaf students. So with the inclusion model, that's not the best for them to be around a whole bunch of hearing students in a mainstream environment where they're the only deaf person. So I'm not sure how California feels in regards to this bill, but my perspective of it as a parent of a young gentleman with disabilities, it's a red flag for me. And I feel that really individual services should be applying more so than that it should be regulated based on the IEP. So I'm not sure if you guys are following that specific bill. It's a very odd bill. I definitely don't agree with it.
And for those of you who are catching up with disability speak, SELPA is a special education local plan area, and each SELPA is responsible for deciding what special education services should look like in their particular county in California, among other needs related to special education.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
We've learned a lot today.
Yeah. I'm really glad that we have a whole bunch of people that are involved in what's happening here in the disability field in the Sacramento area and even in California. At least I'm very impressed with what you've done. All right. Real quickly, we do have a quorum, so Anyone would like to make a motion of passing the minutes for the February DD Council meeting?
I'll move.
Second,
Okay. Any recommendations for April's DD Council meeting?
No.
Patty, I think I am going to turn around like I did without the, find out that there's hardly any dementia / Alzheimer's care homes in this area. But I'll turn around and find out about what's happening with the Take Me Home Safely website.
okay.
That's a very good point, because I was told, and correct me if I'm wrong, Patty and Maureen, I was told that when we started it, that it would be part of everyone's IPP. Am I correct?
They were going to offer it, as I recall, yes.
Okay.
We could ask Teresa, if you've gone through having, your son is now part of Alta, do you recall being offered the chance to have him be a part of this registry? Where the police, where the,
No,
Hmm.
actually, I don't. I have a written document right here as well, and I'll double check just to make sure, but I don't remember them suggesting that at all.
And it's a personal choice. It's not a requirement, it's just a choice.
No, and like I mentioned, I don't remember them mentioning or suggesting that at all. But I will review my paperwork just to make sure.
Okay. Well, with Phil Benet retiring at Alta Regional,
He is?
my bet is
I mean,
John
wow,
Decker,
it's
but
too
that's
bad.
a personal.
What? I didn't hear that, Steve. He gave
Yeah.
notice he's retiring?
Yeah, Phil Benet actually was announcing it last June, but
Oh.
supposedly the board of Alta asked him to stay on until the whole pandemic is more or less over. So he is retiring at the end of June, and they're going to be doing, open interviews with people.
Is there an interim director?
No, not that I have heard. So anyway, so Patty, definitely you should apply.
The other Patty.
Yeah.
Both
No, my
Patties.
bet is on John Decker. He's been a real mover and shaker with
Yeah,
this.
he'd be great. I don't know that he wants something like that, but
Yeah.
I like him where he is now, and that-
Yeah, so do I. But I'll actually ask him about the Take Me Home Safely website and find out some answers. So, all right, guys. Everyone else staying safe and okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Got my 2 vaccine shots. I'm good.
Yay. How's Natalie and Mike doing?
We should be getting our vaccines within the next week or two.
Your
Good.
first one?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Mike and Natalie, make sure you ice your arm right after you get the vaccine shot.
We will.
My
Patty was
first
saying,
vaccine shot just killed me. But the second one, I iced my arm and it didn't hurt at all.
Patty Pacheco was,
And me.
Patty Pacheco was saying hi to Mike and Natalie. And Patty, what were you saying about your wanting your program to open? Why don't you speak?
Yeah, I'm going to a new program. Has to come close.
A new program? When's it start?
I don't know.
Okay,
All the other programs start. I'll let you know.
okay.
All the other programs open. But they haven't opened.
can't hear.
She was saying the other program hadn't started yet. We're doing high tech here. I'm using my phone up against my laptop for her to be able to participate.
Yeah. All of those individuals who attended the Rancho Cordova Adult Care Center and also Patty who did the Escatón one, they've been closed down for over a year and there's probably no way they're going to be able to go back because everyone was kind of lumped up in one little area. And I don't see how you can keep, social distancing when everyone is in one big room.
Somebody had an announcement. Was it Sonia or?
Sonia is asking if she can make an announcement before we end.
Good, Lisa.
Absolutely.
All right. I want to say that we have some openings for those who love to advocate for themselves and others. And I have sent emails out, and we do have a lot of people who have responded, which is just incredible. I was so humbled by the response of our community. So couple opportunities. I have 2 openings on the State Council's Sacramento Regional Advisory Committee. One is specifically for Nevada County, and one is kind of flexible, but my preference is to represent our rural counties because we have a lot of Sacramento representation already, and to represent our diverse community. So those are 2 openings. And then I have 1 opening on the committee that Lisa's the chair of, which is the Self-Determination Advisory Committee. And so I have 1 opening to nominate to that committee. And then I also sent an email out about our 2 managed care plans in our area, Anthem Blue Cross and California Health and Wellness. If any of you are part of those health plans through managed care, they're always looking for self-advocates and family advocates to be a voice on those committees. All the meetings are virtual now. Most of those committees meet twice a year, 2 to 4 times a year. And they will reimburse with a $50 gift card for attendance at the meeting and participation. And they really want to hear from members of those plans. So if you're interested in any of those, you can send me an email and I'll link you to where to apply. Thank you so much. And I'm, again, just so proud of our community for stepping up. Within hours of me sending out these emails, the applications come flooding in. So really, really appreciate
Good.
everyone who wants to participate.
Excellent.
Great.
Okay, guys, please stay safe.
All right. Thank you.
We'll
Thank you
have
very
our
much,
next
Lisa.
meeting
It was
You're
nice
welcome.
meeting you and talking to you. And I appreciate the work you're doing with housing, especially, you know me, the housing guru.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you. Nice to see everyone.
And anyway, so thank you very much, everyone, for
Jordan and
attending.
Michelle, thank
Bye-bye.
you so much. Thank you for
Thank you.
signing.
We'll meet the 3rd Wednesday of the month in April again.
Yep.
Okay, Sonia, thank you very, very much again.
Thanks, Sonia. And you didn't win. They picked number 4.
And don't forget, soon, in another couple of weeks, when I'm past my time for my 2nd shot,